everybody, welcome back, and welcome if you're new here. This is just a quick and easy tutorial. It's a thrift store mirror that I found, and I did a little bit of decoupage and some paint on this project. After a good cleaning with Crud Cutter, I gave it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum paint and primer. And then I also did 2 coats of Mod Podge that I forgot to film, so sorry, and let that dry completely. And then I just went ahead and took my paper, which is really a fiber actually, that's from Redesign with Prima, and I'd use the iron-on method. And that way I don't have to worry about having a steamer or anything, and I can go ahead and get the wrinkles out and get it to adhere with the iron-on method. The iron setting would depend on your specific iron, and then I use a piece of parchment paper in between that and my fiber to not burn my piece. Now I'm just going back through and using a precision knife, and I got those edges cleared up, and once that's done, I go ahead and cover it again with another layer of Mod Podge. This was a really old mirror. You can see that it was kind of missing some of the little pieces that hold it in the back, and it's a little wobbly, which is fine. I'm going to fix that later, but I wanted to leave it like this for now because it made it easier to get under those edges when I was cutting. And then you can see a little bit of a gap on both sides. I'm going to have to blend that in a little bit with some paint. So now I'm going to add a base layer of paint, and that's a dark brown color called Dark Roast. It's kind of an espresso color. And I'm just adding that around all the edges and a smooth coat. I know you guys see that good boy in the background. That's my puppy Colt. He's not really a puppy anymore, but he is still a big baby. He was a rescue, and he is the best dog in the world. You'll see him. He's always around when I'm painting, even if he's not on the camera, but he's always there when I'm doing my projects. Such a good boy. So I already had some light blue mixed with a texture powder for a different project, and I thought it would look perfect with the angel fiber paper that I had. So I went ahead and added that in a stipple motion just to give it some texture. I say stipple, some people say stipple. It's just dabbing the paint on, and when in doubt, just stipple it. So I didn't start this next step until the blue layer was completely dried, and I went ahead and gave it a little sanding, and then I'm going to add some little chips with a kitchen knife just to give it a little more of an age and see some of the other layers underneath. So at this point, I am also using my primer layer as a color layer, and it's adding to the aged effect on this piece when you can see through all the different layers of paint. I'm happy with my frame, I want to go ahead and fix the back of the mirror and just run a layer of super glue around the edges. After my glue dried, I wanted to go ahead and fix these small areas that needed just a little bit of paint to blend into the fiber paper. And I just started by mixing 2 acrylics together, and then I kind of hold my brush next to that area until I'm happy with the color that I've made, and then I just kind of fill it in. This part can be a little bit intimidating. If you don't want to have to blend, just always make sure that your paper or fiber paper is big enough for the area that you're putting it on. But I promise you, it's really not that hard. If I can do it, I know you guys can do it too. So my next step is to go ahead and do a clear coat of wax over my entire piece. And I save my wax brush for clear in 2 Ziploc baggies, and I try to get all the air out, and that way it doesn't have to be washed in between. It's just a little tip for you guys. So I just wanted to add a little touch of gold. I used antique gold rub and buff with my wax brush, and I'm just applying that to the floral carved details that were already on this vintage mirror. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and are inspired by it. Please have an awesome week, and remember to be kind.